Her Royal Highness, the wife of His Majesty the King and President of the Supreme Council for Women, Princess Sabika bint Ibrahim Al Khalifa, received a cable congratulations from the Chairwoman of the General Women's Union in the UAE, President of the Supreme Council for Motherhood and Childhood, Supreme Chairwoman of the Family Development Foundation, Her Highness Sheikha Fatima bint Mubarak, on the 22nd anniversary of the establishment of the SCW. Her Highness Sheikha Fatima praised the role of Her Royal Highness in leading the SCW's efforts aimed at promoting women's advancements across all fields within the framework of the comprehensive development process led by His Majesty the King. With the follow-up of the representative of His Majesty the King for Humanitarian Work and Youth Affairs, leader of the Royal Endurance Team, His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa, and with the participation of the First Deputy Chairman of the Supreme Council for Youth and Sports, Chairman of the General Sports Authority and President of Bahrain Olympic Committee, His Highness Sheikh Khalid bin Hamad Al Khalifa, their Highnesses' children participated in their first ever International Endurance Championship race in France for a distance of 20 kilometers. His Highness Sheikh Nasser affirmed that participation of the children in the first European race encourages them to continue the path of success in the Bahraini endurance sport. He also affirmed the development of Bahraini endurance and praised the capabilities of Bahraini riders. His Highness Sheikh Khalid expressed thanks and appreciation to His Highness Sheikh Nasser for encouraging and showcasing the abilities of children in the first European race, adding that this care helped them finish the stage successfully. His Highness Sheikh Khalid affirmed that His Highness Sheikh Nasser played a great role in encouraging the children through organizing local championships, wishing them further success in upcoming participation. His Highness Sheikh Khalid affirmed that the European participation will provide the children with experience and showcase their leadership abilities to achieve the aspired goals. Delegated by His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, the Minister of Foreign Affairs Dr. Abdul Latif bin Rashid Al Zayani attended remotely the third summit of the International Crimea Platform. The event was chaired by the President of Ukraine, Vladimir Zelensky, with the participation of a number of senior officials. The minister reiterated Bahrain's commitment to promoting peace and stability in the world, affirming the kingdom's firm belief in the priority of dialogue and diplomatic means to address conflicts in accordance with international law and the principles of the UN Charter. He underscored the utmost importance of respect for sovereignty, territorial integrity, independence, non-violence, and non-interference in the internal affairs of other countries. He reiterated Bahrain's call to end the Russia-Ukraine war through peaceful means. He stressed Bahrain's support since the beginning of the war in Ukraine to the implementation of the Minsk Agreement underscoring their importance in finding a permanent solution to the conflict. He reiterated the necessity of reaching peaceful solutions to the conflict in order to promote stability and prosperity for all. He expressed hope that this summit would be a catalyst for positive change, encourage strong partnerships, and pave the way for a brighter future. He reiterated Bahrain's readiness to contribute to the collective efforts to reach a peaceful solution to the conflict in Ukraine.
In our commitment to peace, Bahrain has actively contributed to humanitarian efforts, including the provision of relief aid, support for prisoner exchange initiatives, and facilitating the supply of essential food items. Furthermore, we have actively participated in the Jeddah talks and lent our support to the peace efforts led by His Holiness the Pope, the President's Peace Formula, the Chinese Plan, and various other international diplomatic initiatives aimed at achieving lasting peace in Ukraine.
The Minister of Municipalities Affairs and Agriculture, Engineer Wael Mubarak, received members of the National Leadership Program Hypo Youth and affirmed that the youth in the Kingdom of Bahrain are real capital for building the future. The Minister expressed his pride in the Bahraini youth energies, stressing that they are an essential pillar for the advancement of vital sectors in order to raise the quality of services provided and fulfill the aspirations of citizens. The Director General of the Institute of Public Administration, Dr. Sheikh Harana bint Isa bint Daij Al Khalifa, said that the Institute's keenness to organize the Hypo Youth program comes from the standpoint of social responsibility in empowering Bahraini youth. She praised the keenness of Minister Mubarak to transfer experiences to the youth who will lead the next phase of the construction and development process in the Kingdom of Bahrain. Under the patronage of the Minister of Transportation and Telecommunications, Dr. Mohammed bin Thamar Al-Ka'bi, BNet company held a ceremony marking its achievement of connecting more than 500,000 addresses with fiber in the Kingdom of Bahrain. More in this report. Bahrain Network, BNet, the national company responsible for providing broadband network services in the Kingdom of Bahrain, celebrated at its headquarters in Hamala the arrival of its services to 500,000 commercial, industrial and residential addresses in Bahrain. The celebration was held under the patronage of the Minister of Transportation and Telecommunications, Dr. Mohammed bin Thamar Al-Ka'bi, and in the presence of the company's chairman of the board of directors, Sheikh Ali bin Khalifa Al Khalifa, CEO Ahmed bin Jabir Al Dosari, and a number of employees and stakeholders. Bahrain Network, BNet, continues to make outstanding efforts to keep pace with the latest innovative technologies in the field, with the aim of providing access to leading global services in the field of fiber optic networks to all licensed service providers in the kingdom. BNet, the national company responsible for providing broadband network services in the Kingdom of Bahrain, continues to improve its services with the highest quality. The Minister of Tourism, Fatma Sayrafi, affirmed that the growth indicators achieved by the tourism sector during the past 2 years have exceeded the goals of Bahrain's tourism strategy 2022-2026. More in this report. The Ministry of Tourism affirmed commitment to strengthening partnership with all government agencies, representatives of the private sector, and tourism sector establishments in implementing the 2022-2026 tourism strategy. The success of this national strategy depends on the cooperation of all government and private institutions, given the importance of the tourism sector in creating opportunities, providing jobs, and diversifying the sources of income and supporting Bahrain's GDP. The strategy includes 4 core pillars: destinations, enhancing Bahrain's standing as a leading regional and international tourist destination through developing marine and sports tourism, revamping beaches, recreational facilities, infrastructure and cultural facilities, and organizing more events. The strategy also focuses on developing the airline network and facilitating visas and port procedures, extensive promotional campaigns at the regional and international levels, and through increasing the number of hotel rooms, especially with the expected increase in major events in the Kingdom of Bahrain during the coming period. The Ministry of Industry and Commerce, in cooperation with Mazad, announced the launch of the 4th batch of facilities based on industrial plots within its industrial zones. This launch aimed at transferring the ownership of these facilities to new investors to establish new projects and conclude new lease contracts for the industrial plot within the ministry. The auction includes 3 industrial facilities, one in Maamir Industrial Zone, one in Mzarra Industrial Zone, and one in Salman Industrial Zone. The Minister of Industry and Commerce, Abdullah Fakhro, affirmed the continued efforts to expand partnership with the private sector by presenting investment opportunities for the industrial sector through Mazad. The Ministry invites those wishing to participate in the auction to submit a proposal for the project to obtain initial approval through the Ministry's website. The Information E-Government Authority, in partnership with the Ministry of Labour, announced the start of registration for the second batch of the Technical Cadres Development Programme. IGA CEO Mohammed Al-Qaad affirmed that the announcement comes in line with the national efforts to develop promising sectors and within the framework of continuing to adopt effective initiatives that support the government's strategies and priorities, especially supporting economic recovery plans. He noted the importance of the programme in building qualified youth cadres in the technical field to upgrade government and private institutions. The Comprehensive Development Project of His Majesty the King laid the foundations for the advancement of women in the judicial system. Bahraini women, with their competence in the legal and justice fields, participated in development projects and contributed to the protection of rights and freedoms in society. More on this report.
For more than 40 years, Bahraini women have been able to make important achievements in the justice and judicial fields, thanks to the support of His Majesty the King and the President of the Supreme Council for Women, Her Royal Highness Princess Sabika bint Ibrahim Al Khalifa, with the follow-up of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister. Bahraini women have demonstrated their ability to play an important and pioneering role, which had a positive impact on the course and performance of legal and justice work. The Supreme Council for Women has played an important and effective role in the march of Bahraini women by setting strategies and plans that enable them to be an active element in all fields, including the justice and judicial field, and hold many important positions as judges, legal advisors, attorneys, prosecutors, and many other positions. The Kingdom of Bahrain has become a pioneer in the field of supporting Bahraini women, which is reflected in their status and effective role in the comprehensive march led by His Majesty the King.
The Information E-Government Authority issued its preliminary report on foreign trade statistics for the month of July 2023. The report included data on imports and exports of national origin and re-exports, in addition to trade balance.